You see my management console? Oh, beautiful. How is the audibility? Can everyone hear me? Thank you. Everyone can hear me. I know already that this is going to be an interactive class. I like the way we respond. So let's keep the energy up and let's enjoy this session together. So I want to believe everyone has been able to set up their AWS account. We saw all the conversations and interactions on our platform, WhatsApp and Telegram and LinkedIn and all of that. However, the reason why we choose AWS over every other Linux terminal which you can use to learn is one, because of its flexibility. With AWS and other cloud platforms like Azure, we are able to launch different distributions of Linux. All right, we are able to launch different distributions of Linux. Okay, what I mean by distributions of Linux, as time goes on, we're going to explain that to us. Not only that, AWS platform affords us early introduction to one of the foremost, not one of, actually the foremost, the pioneer of cloud computing, which is Amazon Web Services. All right. It is also easy to set up your Linux environment on AWS. That's why we have decided to say, right, let us learn Linux using AWS platform. So I'm aware some of us have gone ahead to use VMware, Azure, Ocean, all of other cloud platforms. It's okay if you are able to, but for the ones among us that are just starting and new, okay, let us allow them to enjoy this session, allow them set up their AWS and let them follow the instructions we are laying bare in this class. Thank you. So now that we have our AWS platform set up and the console is here, I would like you to all follow me carefully. Our journey to tech has begun. Look at services here. If you click on these services, you're going to see compute. I know some of you have done this before, but for the sake of those who had challenges setting up their EC2 instance, I'm going to do that again. So you click on compute and you see EC2 here. EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. You click on that and it is taking you to the EC2 dashboard. So I should tell us here that we are on AWS platform for now to learn Linux. Every other thing that is not related to Linux that we might encounter while we are trying to set up our AWS, our Linux environment, we will not talk about them. All right, we won't talk about any other thing on this AWS platform apart from that concerns Linux. So please bear with us. When we get into other modules, we have cloud computing modules, we have DevOps modules, we have IAC modules. We might begin to talk about other things, but for now, we'll focus solely on Linux, all right? So if you are here, your EC2 dashboard, click on instances. It will still bring you here, and let's launch an instance. Okay, so you click on, I have an instance here that is running already. Oh, it has been terminated actually. I used it for the class before now. So let's click on launch instances. All right. So here is the wizard for us to launch an EC2 instance. So let's do that quickly. whatever name you want to give your instance. I'm going to call mine class 1. Okay. So at the applications and OS images, there are different distributions of Linux and other operating systems here. Like I said, we're going to focus on Linux. Okay, so for now, let us set up or let us launch an Amazon Linux. So please click on Amazon Linux. Under the AMI, drop down what you have here, and let's select Amazon Linux 2. Okay. Amazon Linux 2 is for now more stable than Amazon 2023. Okay. So once you select Amazon Linux 2, scroll down. At instance type is where we have the different configurations for our instances. All right. And like I've noted to some of us on the different platforms, if you go beyond the free tier, you're going to charge. You're going to get charged. Okay. So I want to encourage us all to please stay within the free tier limit. All right. So right now, I'll click on, no, I'll leave T2 Micro as it is because it is within the free tier. All right. People are complaining they cannot hear me. Can everybody hear me, please? It could be your network. You might want to check. Please, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. All right, many persons can hear me. So those that cannot hear me, please check your device, check your network, and let's move on as fast as we can. We only have 2 hours to be together in this first class. All right, so under the key pair, if you have done this process before, you would not need to create a new key pair. I repeat, if you've done this process before, you will not need to create a new key pair. Just drop down key pair here, and the ones you created will be among the list, and you can select that. All right. But if this is your first time of going through this process, then let us create a key pair together. Your key pair is like your password, which you will use to protect or secure your virtual machine. So if I click on create new key pair, another window will open. All you need to do is put the name of the key pair. All right, put the name of the key pair, and as I'll just put class 2-KP. All right. I haven't done that. Please, for now, you might not need to deal with the different key file formats. Leave it at .pem. Just put the name and then create key pair. If you have created a new key pair, it will automatically download the key pair for you. It will download inside your download folder or wherever you have set your browser to download for you. Okay. Moving on, under network settings, like I said, we will only focus on Linux here. We will not discuss other things. Okay, so if you are tempted to begin to ask us what network is, what VPC subnet is, this is not the module where we answer all that questions. Okay, we will do that when we get into the second module. But for now, let us stay on course, Linux server administration. So again, if you have done this process before, you will not need to create a new security group. Just check, select existing security group, and then the ones you have created, they will be listed here, and you can use any one of that. But if this is your first time of going through this process, setting up an EC2 server, click on Edit. Okay, check Create Security Group. And I can now put the name of the security group, just any name. Again, I'm calling it class 2 SG. SG means security group. Okay. And that's all that you need to do for now to help you set up your first virtual server in cloud. Okay, if you've done all of that, you might want to review from the top again. Class 1, okay, let's give it class 2 for uniformity sake. However, even if you give it any name, it does not matter. It's tag. Okay, we selected Amazon Linux, we selected T2 because it's a free tier. We created key pair and we downloaded the private key file. We created a new security group, called it class 2 security group. The next thing we do is we launch instance. All right. If you already have an instance running, if you are just launching an instance, give me a thumbs up if you are following through. Okay. For the person who said he or she is seeing video of another participant, you are probably connecting from your phone. That's why that is happening. You may want to switch connection to your PC. All right, just 2 persons out of the entire persons in this class. I want to know if you have seen successfully initiated launch, or you already have your EC2 instance running and you're waiting for us. Give me a thumbs up, let me know we are in order. All right, so without wasting time, let us move on. Let us move on, right? So please click on, either you click on instances here, or you click on the instance ID, or you click on these 3 horizontal lines, and you click on instance. Whichever one you click, it takes you to your instances. When you get to your instances, the one that is running, which is class 2, it says running here. Please click on the instance ID. Okay, this is where it's going to bring you. When you click on the instance ID, here you can see some metadata, which is information about your EC2 instance. Okay, the public IP address, the private IP address, the instance state it is running. The public DNS is a simple A record. Okay, when we get into AWS, we'll tell you more about what an A record is in Route 53. Okay, and many other things. However, we will again not waste time about this, since we're going to deal with that when we get into AWS. Let us stay on course. So if you're on this screen, please click on connect. If you click on connect, it takes you to where you can connect to your instance via SSH. SSH means secured shell, and that is how you can remotely access your server. One of the ways you can remotely access your server. So under the EC2 instance connect tab, again, you're going to see your instance ID. You will see the public IP address of your server, and you will see the default username that Linux created for you. All right. Let me know. All right, so let's move on. For those asking for the YouTube channel, it's going to be available on our Telegram and our WhatsApp and Instagram page. For now, let's just stay on course. All right, so if you are here, please click on connect. If you click on connect, a new tab will open and it's taking you to the command line interface of your Linux machine. All right, so I I'm seeing an error here, which some of us encountered in class. And the good thing about this is that this is happening in a live class. These are things you're not going to see in a pre-recorded session because it has been smoothing out. So let's take time to go and investigate why we are unable to connect. If the server is not running yet, or if the status is still saying unavailable, we might not be able to connect. So now it's saying status check 2 out of 2. So let's see if we're able to connect now. Okay, connect. Again, it is unable, error while establishing connection. So we come back to investigate. This time around, let us go and check the security group of our instance and confirm if the necessary port is enabled. Okay, see the security group, we have port 22 enabled. Let me quickly check that. All right. So if you have been able to connect into your own server, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, give me yes. If you have been able to SSH into your server, let me know. Okay, so many things could lead to why I'm unable to SSH. So if that's if we're not able to resolve one, we have other alternatives. I'll probably need to quickly launch another instance if that is giving us a challenge, okay? So I'll just launch an instance. I'm going to move fast this time around since it seems it's the trainer that server is not up yet. The rest of us are good. Okay. Amazon Linux, keeper. We're going to use our class 2 keeper. And then we're using the existing security group. Okay. Launch instance. All right. We'll click on our instance ID. It should take us to the information about our instance. It is running and it is initializing for now. Okay. Let us connect. All right, so this time around, we are able to connect to our instance. Okay, so please listen carefully because I'm about to take us to another point right now. You will notice that we have connected to the command line interface of our server from a browser. Currently, I'm using this browser, Google Chrome. You're probably using Safari on your macOS, or you're using any other kind of browser. Now, we do not advise that you use browser as your SSH session. The reason being that there could be interferences. The browser, you have other tabs running on your browser. The browser itself might want to refresh. A lot of things can happen, okay? And that is why we encourage SSH agents, all right? There are a couple of SSH agents you can use. There is Mobile Exterm, there is Termius, there is PuTTY. You can even use your VS Code. In fact, you can use your device local terminal, either you're using Mac OS or Windows system or even Linux system. However, for ease and for the convenience of both Mac OS and Windows, we're going to introduce you to Termius. So come with me to Google. Let's go to Google. And when you get to Google, just click download Termius. Look at the spelling, download Termius. When you click on download Termius, it is able to detect which of the operating system your host, your local machine is running. So if I click on download Termius, this first link, it's going to take me to Termius screen. Are we all following? Are we all following? We have moved past the CLI interface from our browser. We are now trying to download Termius. The reason why I want to download Termius is because it works on almost all the operating systems, even on your Android. It works on Windows, it works on Linux, it works on Mac OS, it works on Android, okay? It is not selective like Mobile Exterm and PuTTY. So please download for your operating system, okay? If you scroll down, you're going to see for Mac OS, for Windows, for Linux. However, the Linux is for Debian, okay? So I'm using Windows. I'm going to click on download for Windows. Okay, the moment I click that, the download will begin. All right, so let me know if your download has started. Mine has started, is about 165 MB. Okay, but because I already have it running on my system, I'll stop mine. Please do not stop yours. Ensure the download is complete. When the download is complete, go to the download file. Is an executable file. Run it. Run it, I mean install Termius on your local machine. All right. After you've installed Termius on your local machine, it will ask you for some things, but the only thing you need to do is to register. You can use your Gmail to register. If you're able to register with your Gmail, every other thing, just be skipping it. Click, skip, 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 skip. All right, so I can see a lot of still downloading. So I'm just gonna give us about 10 minutes is too much. I'll give us about 5 minutes to download. I hope your ISP is strong and fast enough to allow you download 180 something bytes. Oh, done. So if you are done downloading, please go and run it. All right. If you are done downloading, please go and run it. All you need to do is to register with your Gmail or any other mail you have. But Gmail is quite easy. And when you're done, the rest, just be clicking skip. Just keep clicking skip. Keep skipping, keep skipping. The only thing you need to do is to, oh, beautiful, someone has installed. I wish I can give you choco points for Labi, but that's beautiful if you have installed. It says it can be downloaded on your Windows machine. Which version of Windows are you using? Stanley, which version of Windows OS are you using? Windows 11, that's not correct. There should not be any reason why you should not, except if you have downloaded the wrong one. Ensure you are downloading for Windows. Do not go to select for Mac OS or for Debian. Okay, Stanley, ensure you download the one for Windows. Okay, there are 3 operating systems here. Okay, someone just downloaded for Windows 11 and it worked. Windows 11 is it can't run on your PC. There's no reason why it should not run on your PC. If you have downloaded for Windows, if your PC is Mac OS, if you are using MacBook, download for Mac OS. If you're running Linux on your computer, download Linux. If you're running on the operating system Windows, download for this. Okay, if you download another one other than what your local machine OS is, it will not run. All right, it will not run. So for those who have downloaded, please go and install it. Like I said, you just need to register. Every other thing, skip. Every other thing, skip. Okay. We can't wait for forever for download. I'll just give us 5 minutes more. Okay. And for those who have downloaded and those who has installed, I expect you to be seeing a screen like this. This is my mobile exams, sorry, my Termius screen, not mobile exam, please. Okay. If this is the screen you have after you installed, give me thumbs up. If this is the screen you have after you've installed Termius, give me thumbs up. I hope you can see my screen, everyone. Oh, good. Just one person out of 180 something. Oh, excellent. Excellent. All right, so we are waiting 3 minutes more for the rest who are still downloading. Like I said, once you're done downloading, run it. The only thing you need to do is to register with your Gmail account or whatever valid email you have, and then the rest just skip until the end where it says install. And when it installs, it might probably ask you to launch, or you might have to go to, so if you want to use mobile exam, that's good. All right, if you want to use a VS Code, it's good. Okay, if you have installed, it might ask you to go to, okay, so please do not give anybody alternative here, Mr. Tijani Usman, okay? Let everybody stick to what we have here, okay? There's a reason why we want it to be uniform so that if there are problems, you can address it together, all right? Termius is a verified SSH agent. It's not going to mess up with your system, so there's no need to fear, all right? Okay, so I want to believe everyone, we are on the same page. Okay, You can use PowerShell. Like I said, there are many SSH agents you can use, okay, but we will not be in this class showing people how to use PowerShell separately, how to use Homebrew separately, or how to use mobile extam. There's a reason why we want to stick to one so that we can manage time and we can optimize this training. All right. So let's move on now. Now we want to SSH into our server. Okay. Mr. Daniel, this is Termius. All right, you probably joined the class late. This is Termius. Let me quickly go through it for those who are just joining, but we're not going to wait for you. You will have to join us along the line. So from your browser, go to Google and then search for download Termius. Okay, it will automatically discover the operating system of your local machine. If you click on that, download Termius from Windows. Even though it says Windows here, if your machine is not running on Windows, please scroll down and click on whichever OS your machine is running on. All right, mine is on Windows. I'll click this and then the download will start. When it has fully downloaded, run it. When you run it, it will ask you to register. Please go ahead and register with a valid email, and the rest of the installation process, just click skip, skip, skip till you get to install. And if you install successfully, it might take you to the interface, which you are seeing here, or you might have to go to your desktop where the desktop icon has been created. Then from there, you can launch the app, SSH agent Termius. So we move on quickly. Now we want to SSH into our server in cloud. Two things or three things we need: the public IP address, IP version 4 of the server. We need the private key file of the key pair, that is the one downloaded on your local drive. And we need a valid user on that server. Please mind you, if your server is not running in cloud, if it is not live, you cannot SSH into a dead, a terminated, or a stopped server. You can only SSH into a server that is running. So you click on new host. If you click on new host, a new window is opened at the right-hand side of your PC, okay? On the label, whatever custom name you want to call this session, we tagged our server class, so we can just retain that as class N, all right? In the address pane, look at it, under the label in the address pane, please go and copy the public IP address of your server and paste it here. So I'm going to my server right now. Either I copy the public IP address from here, or I go to the instance, connect, look at the public IP address here. Wherever one is comfortable for you, please copy this. Okay, I hope you are able to see. Okay, yes, I'm sharing what that is needed to be shared. Copy that, return to Termius and paste. All right. Once you paste, you scroll down under SSH, you will see port 22. This is a popular interview question. What is the port for SSH secure shell? It is 22. There are other ports. There are other protocols, HTTP port 80, HTTPS port 443, There's the port for MySQL. There's the port for Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP. There's the many ports. When we go further, we'll learn about that. Our concern here is to give the username and the password to our server. So what's the username on our server? When you launch a Linux server, Linux will create two users automatically. The root, which you normally call admin in other operating systems, and the default user. For different distros of Linux, there are different users. For Amazon Linux, which is the one we have launched, the name of the username here is EC2 user. Okay, so look at it, EC2-user, or you might want to call it EC2-user. There is no space, you write it together. So I return to Termius, put my username EC2 user. All right. Your public IP address, go to your AWS. Okay. If you know how we get here, look at your public IP address here. Okay. Or on the session, your command line interface from your browser, you will find your public IP address here as well. I hope that is noted. So let us return to our Termius. Okay. So if by chance you click outside of this pane that you have here, let's say I click something like this, and you do not know how to return back to where we are inputting all of that things on our Termius, click on the host you have created. You will see the pen icon, click on the icon, this will show up again. So we've entered the public IP address of the server, we've entered the username. Now we want to enter the password of our server, okay? Remember we created key pair, and after we created key pair, the private key file was automatically downloaded. Now we need a private key file in this place. Okay, so what do? Click on set a key. Okay, click on set a key. Then you click on create new key. Okay. After you click on set a key, create new key, we want to import our private key file. So if you click on import from key file, it takes you to your local drive. Okay. You might have to go to your download folder. Remember the key pair that you downloaded. That is the one you need to connect in this place. The key pair you downloaded. Okay, for me, class 2 key pair, I'm going to click on open. When you do that, you see the private key here has been populated. Next thing you do is you click on save. I hope you can see my mouse. Please click on save. When you have clicked on save, look at the plug or connect icon here. Okay, click on that icon, then your Termius can now SSH into your server. So you see, are you sure you want to connect? Yes, you want to connect. Click on add and continue. And boom, we have SSH'd into our Linux server. Okay. If you're able to do that comfortably, let me know. Okay, Oluwatimileyin, don't worry, this class is being recorded. The class record will be made available for you and for everybody to watch after the class. Okay. Oh, I have an overwhelming number of persons who have been able to connect. That's beautiful. But again, My leader is telling me to repeat that again. So thank you to Lady Anne. She wants me to repeat this connection thing again so everyone can follow up. So I'll do that. However, I'll be faster this period. Everyone knows how to set up their AWS. Then you see how we set up our server and how we connect to our server. Okay. I said go to Google and type download Termius. Okay. I haven't clicked on that. I haven't typed download Termius. Click on the link that says termius.com. When you do that, you don't need to sign up or anything. Depending on the operating system your computer is running, download according to that. If it is running on Mac OS, click here. If your computer is running on Windows, click here. If it is running on Linux, click here. Mine is running on Windows, so I'm clicking Windows here. When you do that, it will download an executable file, most likely in your download folder. Go to your download folder and run it. When you start running it, it will ask you to register. Register with a valid email, Gmail account, Yahoo, Hotmail, anyone. When you have registered, it will show you many things. I advise that you just click, skip till you get to where he asks you to install. And when you install, it should bring you to this screen that you are seeing here. Okay, it should bring you to this screen and you will likely not be seeing hosts. Okay, I'm going to remove this host now so I can show you how to connect again. Okay, also, let me see if I can remove the key file that I already have. Oh, yes. Let me remove it as well. So right now we are back to the same screen. So please listen and pay attention. Click on new host. Give it a name, a label, okay? The same name I used for it on my AWS platform, or you might want to change it, okay? The address here is going to be the public IP address of your server. So come to your AWS console, okay? If you don't know how to get the public IP address of your server, at least you should know how to get to this screen, okay, from your EC2 instance, okay? The server we are trying to SSH into is class N. So what do? If you scroll towards the right, you can copy your public IP address from here. So many places you can get your public IP address from. Or you might want to click on the instance ID itself. Look at your public IP address here. Or you click on connect, look at your public IP address here. All right. So anywhere you click on, you're able to see your public IP address, then paste here. All right. So when you paste, the next thing we want to do is give a username. This username is not your own name. It's not just an arbitrary name, please. The username you will find on your console, which is this EC2 user. All right, so copy this, or you just memorize it. It will not allow you to copy. Just memorize it and come to username and enter EC2 user. If you've done that, the next thing we want to do is to supply the private key file, okay? At the password pane, under it, you will see set a key. So please click on set a key. You are likely not to have any key here if it's your first time. But if it's not your first time, you may have one or two keys, okay? Ensure you select the appropriate key to launch that server. But if you do not have any key, then click on create new key. Okay, then click on import from key file. We are doing this just to bring in the key file. Remember when you were about to launch an instance on AWS cloud, we created key pair. And when we did that, it downloaded the private key file of that key pair for us. A pair means two, right? And that refers to public and private. The private key file of that key pair was downloaded. When you click on import from key file here, okay? When you click on import from key file, what you're going to see is that it will take you to your local drive. Then go to where that key file is. It's usually inside your download folder. Okay, click on the key file, click open. All right, if you click open, then the next thing is click on save. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. You will have to be patient just to follow this class. The class is being recorded. The record will be made available after this session. If you've saved it, the next thing you want to do is look at this connect icon here. You click on it for us to connect. And then boom, we are inside. If it's your first time, you might see stuff like add and continue. Click on add and continue and you are inside. Now this is the same shell prompt we have here is the same shell prompt we have here. So why do we have to go through all those stress if we can work from here? This is an SSH session on a browser where you can have numerous tabs. And those tabs at times can make your session to hang or to even make your experience unpalatable. However, from an SSH agent like Termius or Mobile Xterm or PuTTY, this is solely what they are for, okay? You are able to work and manipulate and do whatever you want to do at the back end of your server from here. Okay, so if you have all set this up again, give me thumbs up so we can continue. Thank you, Abdulkadir. That's cool. Okay, so I know many of us have set this up. So having done this, let's talk about Linux. Okay, now that we are sure everybody is able to get to this point, let us talk about Linux. Linux is an open source operating system. Okay, while we are discussing Linux for the next 10 minutes, those who are unable to set up their Termius might just quickly go ahead and begin to set it up. Linux is an open source operating system, right? Open source means that no one has a patent to it, okay? Unlike Windows, that only Microsoft can release, can do anything with it. Unlike macOS, that only Apple can do whatever they want with it. Anyone, any corporation, any organization, any individual that has the right knowledge can pick the Linux kernel, tweak it to whatever they want to, call it any name they want to call it. All right. So this is perhaps the best thing that has happened to tech because Linux is open source. So nobody can lay claim to how you and I can use it. All right. It is released under the GNU of General Public License. And that means anyone can run, can study, can share, and can modify it. All right. Now, the Linux operating system is divided into three parts. Can everybody see my whiteboard? If you can see my whiteboard, say yes. Beautiful. We have the hardware, we have the Linux kernel, and we have the user space, okay? The hardware, you have to pardon my writing, the kernel, which is the core of Linux, and you have the user space, okay, which is the interactive user interface. The hardware refers to all hardwares that your system runs on, such as the CPU, the disk, the memory, the RAM, the storage, that's the hardware. Okay. The kernel is the central component of any operating system, Linux not exclusive. Okay. And it manages the operation of the computer and the hardware. Okay. It basically manages operation of your memory and your CPU. Again, it is the core component of an operating system, and the kernel acts as the bridge between applications and data processing that is performed at the hardware level. So let's put that into perspective. If we have this layer, and let's call this layer application, okay? Thank you for pardoning my handwriting. All right, we have this layer. We call this layer kernel, and then the hardwares, or your hardwares, your CPU, your memory, which you also call your RAM, then your devices like your mouse, your keypad, your Wi-Fi card, your speaker, all that of devices. The link between this and this is kernel. Okay, it is kernel that allows seamless communication between your applications and your system hardwares. Okay, so if you have an application here that wants to use your system webcam, it is kernel that helps to translate when you click on webcam on your Zoom or on any of your video application. It is kernel that helps you to trigger the webcam. Okay, so without kernel, there is no link between these two. All right, so let's move on. Okay, then the user space. The user space is where users like you and I will be directly interacting with the system. Okay, for those who has worked with a real computer running on Linux, you will know that Linux has its own GUI, graphics user interface. However, Linux is primarily a command line interface operating system. What do I mean by GUI? What do I mean by CLI? Okay, GUI is the screen where you can see colorful things. You can see your mouse can be able to click this and click that. You can drag, you can drop down. Okay, let me quickly show you something like this. Okay, this is a GUI, graphics user interface. Okay, I can click this, I can click that, I can create folder and all of that. Okay, but this is a command line interface. Your mouse will not work here. Your mouse will not work here. My mouse will not work here as well. All we do here is input, output. You enter command, it gives you information. Okay, I will advise us to stay put in this class. All right, stay put in this class. Do not click any link you are not sure of. Do not click on any link that you are not sure of. Stay put with what we are offering in this class. I can see a lot of marketing going on in the chat room. I advise you to not click on any link you have not seen us provided. All right, please stay put with mobile technologies. If you click on any link and it exposes your PC, we are not liable to that. All right, so you've told us about the main three parts of Linux operating system. We have the hardware, we have the Linux kernel, and we also have the user space. All right, let's talk briefly about Linux distributions. Okay, Linux distributions, which you will also see in some literatures as Linux distro, all right, is an operating system compiled from components developed by various open source projects and programmers. I believe that someday, some of us in this class will team up and then we'll develop a distro for ourselves. Okay, like Ubuntu is owned by Canonical. It is a South African country. Okay, we can have one. All right, you can team up among yourself as well. Okay, so distro simply means the different kind of Linux. Okay, and each distribution includes the Linux kernel, which is very important, the shell utilities, that is the terminal interface and the commands, the X server, which is for graphical desktop, the desktop environment, and very important, package management system and an installer. Okay, package management system and an installer. And this takes me to where I'm going to be showing us the two major packages and their installer. It is important to note that there are more than 600 distributions of Linux out there. More than 600 distros. However, for the sake of learning, we are going to focus on two distros. These two distros we are focusing on are drawn from two major package managers, which is the Red Hat Package Manager RPM and the Debian Package Manager. Okay, so let me clear this clearly. And let's say we have Package Manager. Again, forgive my handwriting. We have the Red Hat Package Manager, which is also called RPM. Can you all hear me clearly? Can you see my screen? I'm sharing my whiteboard currently. All right. And we also have the Debian Package Manager .deb. All right. Under the Red Hat Package Manager, we have various distributions, which we also call distros. Among them is the one we launched, that is Amazon Linux. Okay. You have the Red Hat itself called RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. We have the Fedora. Fedora is also a distro under the Red Hat Package Manager. We have the CentOS. CentOS has been bought over by Red Hat. Okay. And we also have open source. These are major, these are popular distributions of Linux. Remember I said that there are more than 600 distros of Linux. These are just the popular ones, okay? And if you're able to learn one under each of these package managers, you're absolutely good to go in the world of Linux. Under the Debian, we have the Debian distro itself. Okay. We have Ubuntu, which some of you already know. We have Linux Mint. Okay, Linux Mint, okay, and other ones. Each of these package managers have their installers. Okay, so you want to do any installation with a distro of Linux that is managed by Red Hat. The installer word is yum in lowercase yum. Why if you want to do an installation on any distro of Linux under the Debian package manager, the installer word is apt get or just apt. All right, apt get or just apt. Okay, so these are some of the things we're going to be learning in the next 4 classes. It's going to be an interesting journey. I want you to patiently follow, and after each class, you go back and practice. So I haven't given us this brief intro into Linux. There's no difference between apt and apt-get. They are the same. Okay, so you might see literature say apt-get, other literatures as apt, they are the same, all right? So now let's go into learning some basic commands of AWS, of Linux. However, we are going to show us around the shell prompt. So I'm taking you back to the shell prompt. Can everyone see this? I'm back to Termius. Can everyone see this? All right. So what I want to show us here is the shell prompt, the Linux shell prompt. When you see the Linux shell prompt like this, please know that you can decipher or you can decode one or two things directly from the shell prompt. And that's what I'm telling you right now. The name or whatever name you see before the @ sign means the user that is signed in right now. Even if you are using VM, follow patiently, please. Okay. The Linux interface is the same across any of the CLIs. Okay. The person that asked me to zoom in, can you see clearly now? All right, so let's go. The name you see here before the @ sign, look at EC2 user @ this set of numbers, and then this icon, and there's this $sign. The name you see here is telling you that this is the user that is signed into this computer right now. This is the user that is signed into this computer right now. Whatever name you see here is the user. So for now, you're saying that EC2 user is the one that is signed in. after the @, the name you see is the name of your Linux machine. Okay, so for those using virtual machines or for those using another means of connecting to Linux, you might see another name here, but this is telling you this is the name of this machine. We can change this name as we go on in this training. I will show you how to do that, but that's not important for now. All right. And then the name you see, whatever you see here, means the current working directory. This tells you the folder you are in currently. I hope everyone is listening at this point. The folder you are in currently, this is whatever you see here tells you, okay? And if you are saying the $sign, two things. The $sign is saying that the person, the name you see here is a non-root, okay? The $sign also means that this interface is ready for input. You can begin to type the different inputs you want to type, okay? You can begin to do many things when you see that $sign. Okay, all of this I'm going to show you as we move on. All right, so let's do a quick check right now. Let's do a quick check. Okay, let's say Gozie at, let's say Gozie at Africa PC, then Bob. Okay, so look at the shell prompt. I just mimicked the shell prompt. Look at what I highlight, what I highlighted. Looking at this, what's the name of the user that is signed in currently on this machine? We're not using this now. We're using what I have here. Beautiful, beautiful, good responses. It shows we are following. And what's the name of the machine we are signed into? What's the name of the machine we are signed into at this moment? Excellent, excellent. And in what folder am I working currently? Inside which folder am I? Beautiful, beautiful. I like that we are following. Thank you for this interaction. So I'm going to ask you, true or false, do you think this interface is ready to accept input? Okay, it is ready. Right now, do you think this interface is ready to accept input? Okay, so if I change this, look at what you have now. This is a simple check. What does this say? Beautiful. Some people are able to follow. So when you see this hash tag or this hash sign, it means that the user you have here is what? Is root. So this is what you will see. Something like this. Let me go there and change it. Beautiful, root user. I like that. You guys are patiently following. Excellent. We'll do great together if you continue to patiently follow like this. So we can move on right now. What else do I think you should know? I'm still explaining the entire of this shell prompt to us. Another thing I think you should know on this shell prompt is on your keyboard. If you press the up arrow, you will see it will begin to show you the last command you used. Look at this. This was the last command. I cleared my screen. If I press the up arrow again, you begin to see all the previous commands you've used in sequential order. If you press the down arrow, it returns until you get to the most recent command. Okay, so it is possible that you've gotten into heavy usage of Linux, especially when we get into DevOps, when we begin to enter long commands, especially when you want to begin to set up your Kubernetes cluster. Commands are long. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, you don't want to enter that command and you make a simple mistake somewhere and you begin to type all the commands from the beginning again. No, what you need to do is just to what? Press the up arrow, use the right and left key to what? Navigate towards the arrow, correct all you need to do. Okay, and then you can move on and can hit enter again. So with the up arrow, you are able to see the what? Your command history, the ones you have entered. Okay. Now, what else should you know on this interface? Please know that Linux is case sensitive. All right. Linux is case sensitive. All right. Dennis is not the same thing as Dennis is not the same thing as Dennis is not the same thing as Dennis. Don't forget. All right. We're going to see that play out quickly. Having shown us the shell prompt, let us talk about navigation. All right. At navigation, we're going to look at how to navigate the Linux file system. Please know that Linux organizes its files in what we call hierarchical directory structure. So you've been hearing directory. Directory in Linux means folder. Okay. So Linux organizes its files in hierarchical directory structure, and it means they are organized in a tree-like pattern. Okay. You know how a tree is, don't you? A tree starts from, okay, I need to clear this. A tree starts from the root. Okay, don't mind my tree. Let's just focus on the good part. Then you have the tree. On the tree, you have the branch. On the branch, you have the stem. On the stem, you have the leaves. But what I want you to know here is that after the root, nothing else. All right? Everything starts from the root. And in Linux, the root is represented with a /. So the first / is the root. You can now have other things. Home, EC2, user, but the first / you see is what? Is root. Okay. So the root directory, let's go and see it. If I say cd, cd means change directory, cd. And change directory means go into this directory or enter into this directory. Okay, remember I said directory means folder. Okay, so cd means enter into this folder. Okay, you can only change directory to a folder. You cannot change directory to a file. Okay, so let's cd into the root folder. So when you enter cd space /root, we are going into the root folder. You will notice that what is here has changed to where? The root directory. So right now, EC2 user is signed into this machine, and this user is working in this folder at the moment. This is the current working directory. All right. So every other folders, files, subfolders, they all stem out of this current working directory root. If I run the command ls switch L, we are still coming back to show you these commands. You will see all these are all system folders. Okay, all the folders you can ever have on the Linux server, they all take their root from these system folders. All of them are inside where? Root. Okay, so let's return back. Let me clear my screen and let us continue. I've shown you that in navigation, everything begins from the root. I should tell us where we are currently. Remember when I was telling you about the shell prompts? We said that whatever you see here represents what? The current working directory. However, what you are seeing now is a tilde sign, right? What you see is a tilde sign. When you see a tilde sign in shell prompt in Linux, it is telling you you are in the home directory of this user. When you see a tilde sign like this in the shell prompt, it means you are in the home directory of the user, okay? This means root directory, while tilde sign means home directory, okay? So what is the home directory? When you create a user on the Linux machine, 3 other things are automatically created with the user. 2 rather, please. 2 other things are created with the user. The first one is the home directory and the primary group. When you create a user on the Linux operating system, 2 other things are created with that user: home directory and the primary group. All right. Now, the dicey part is this: both home directory and the primary group bear the same name as the name of the user. So that tells us this EC2 user has a home directory called EC2 user. It also has a primary group called EC2 user. How then do we differentiate which one is home directory, which one is the username, which one is the primary group? The folder or the file where you find these 3 entities are different. And that's how you know which one is the home directory, which one is the primary group, which one is the EC2 user. Okay. All home directories are saved in the home folder, root home. Okay, so all the folders you will find in this path, root home, they are all home directories. So let's go there and see. Okay, if I say cd to root, and if I do long list, look at home here. All this command, we are coming back to teachers. Let's just patiently follow the class. See this directory here, home. If I say cd to home, can you see that what is here has changed? What you see now here is home. You are seeing tilde here, then you see root here, then you see home here. So that tells us that at this point, we are working inside the what? Home folder. So if I list the content of this home folder, I'm seeing EC2 user. So all the folders you will ever find in this home folder, they are all home directories of their corresponding user. What that means is if I create another user now, okay, and I call the user Wissam for explanation purpose, let me quickly do that. How to create user, don't bother your head. We're going to learn all of these things in this Linux free training. But just so we can bring this home, let me quickly create a user and show you. So if I say sudo user add Wissam, okay, and I run sudo password Wissam, and then when I put a password, meanwhile, when you are entering password in Linux, you're not going to see anything. So just enter it in faith. So you see it has been changed. Can you see now? Then now that I have created another user, I'm seeing here the home directory of EC2 user and also the home directory of Wissam. Please listen carefully now, everyone. I'd like you to listen carefully now. It is incorrect to come to home directory and say that all the folders you have here represent all the users you have on your server. It is false. Okay. Again, all that you will find inside this home folder are the home directories of their respective users. Okay, so it means there's a user called EC2 user. There's a user called Wissam, and these are their home folders, home directories. Okay, but it's possible that I have long deleted this EC2 user, and it depends on the kind of delete command I use that I will still have the home directory of that user here. It is also possible that I have long deleted Wissam user, but if I do not do recursive delete, meaning delete everything related to that user, I can still have Wizard home directory here. Meanwhile, the user itself has been deleted. So don't come to home folder and say all folders you find therein are the users on your Linux server. Okay, a very simple question at interviews. They tell you, where do you find all the users on your Linux server? Please tell them to go to the password file. How to get to the password file is part of what we're going to learn. Again, I implore you, patiently follow explaining. Okay, so let us move on. I haven't shown you this home directory. If I now say, let me cd into EC2 user, by now you know that this EC2 user is not the user of the server. This EC2 user is the primary group of the server. All right, so if I say cd into this EC2 user, okay, EC2 user, watch what is going to happen to this place. You see that it has changed to what? To the tilde sign. So that drives home the point that when you see a tilde sign here, it means you are in the home directory of the user. A tilde sign means the home directory of the user. Okay, if I go back by one step, I'm back in home. So here now, it means I'm working from the home folder. Okay, so having said that, you want to clear your screen, just type clear. Okay, for those that uses Windows, you know to clear your Windows screen is your CLI or CLD. All right. So we are here. What else do we need to know as we are moving on? To list the content of a folder, to list the content of a folder, the basic command is ls. ls will list for you in short form. ls will list for you in what? In short form. But there are many flags that you can use with this ls. All right. So if I run manual, MANLS, this will tell me manual means MAN means manual, means I want to know more about a particular command. So if I run ls with flag small a, it will show me all that is in that folder, both hidden and non-hidden. If I run it with flag capital A, it will show you almost all. If I run it with $author, it will print the author of each of the file, okay? If I run it with this, so all of these things, all right? However, if I type Q now, I'm gonna quit and I'm coming back here. So if we run ls switch L, it means give me the content of this current folder I am in details. Okay, when I ran ordinary ls here, it gave me in short form. But I haven't run it with switch L, it gave me in what? In details, saying that an directory has all these details. All of these details we're going to explain when we get to permissions. It means it is a directory if you see a D, and then this user has read, write, execute permission. This group and the members of this primary group has read and execute permission, and others have just read and execute permission. All of this we're going to learn as we move on. Okay, so ls would do listing in short form. ls switch L will tell you to list in long form. If I run ls switch A, just as we saw when we did the manual for ls, it's going to give us all the content, including hidden folders and files. Can you see that? If I run ls switch flag LA to do that same thing it did here, but now in what? In details, okay? Now you will notice that some of the folders and files here, they have dots before them. This is how to hide folders, just a basic way. Okay, so if I want to hide Ann now, I will have to rename Ann, and the new name will carry .ann. So if you do ordinary ls switch L, you're not going to see Ann if I hide it. Okay, but renaming folders, all of that, we're going to learn as we move on. Right, so I haven't seen how to list in short details, how to list in long details, how to list all and everything. I should show you all the CD we are talking about, all this well, okay? So from anywhere that you are on the Linux server, anywhere you are on the Linux server, CD / will take you to the root directory. It doesn't matter if you're inside sub folder. Ordinary CD / takes you to the root directory. That's one. CD tilde, by now you should know where to take us. So can I see the response rushing in the chat room? Where we see the tilde take us? I've taken my time to explain what tilde is. Home directory, beautiful, home directory. It will not take us to home, it will take us to the home directory of the signed in user. Because by now you should know that there is a folder called home. Beautiful, I like Stanley's response. The home directory of EC2 user, excellent. Aha, this one is even more refined by JMC Global. Home directory of the current user, excellent, good responses. All right, and that's it. We are in the home directory of the current user. Why I say this is a refined response is, in case another user is here, let's say the person we have here is Wissam. Can we try it? SU Wissam, switch to Wissam, and we enter Wissam password in faith. Can you see that we have here EC2 user now? Because as at when we were leaving this user here, we were in its own home directory. And when we switch user to another user, this one changed to what? EC2 user. So if I run CD tilde, it's taking us to where? The home directory of Wissam, not EC2 user. All right, I hope it is all making sense, especially those that are new to the Linux operating system. Are you enjoying this? Give me a thumbs up. If you are lost, let me know as well. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. The classes are being recorded, and I think it is clear enough for us to be able to play back. Okay, Abdul Kadir, you are in good hands. Don't worry, the classes are being recorded. You can watch. Okay, we've put one day between the first and the second class, so it can afford you to watch and practice. Right, so CD tilde takes you to the home directory of the current user. Beautiful. Ordinary CD will do the same for you. Ordinary CD will take you to the home directory of the current user. Let me go to root first. And if I say ordinary CD without anything, it is taking me to where? The home directory of the current user. So let me exit and return back to EC2 user. Let me clear my screen. So the difference between CD / is that CD / takes you to root directory. to root directory, okay? And ordinary CD or CD tilde takes you to home directory of the current user. I hope that's clear, Cosmos. All right, so let us move on. Another thing I should let us know, this command, print working directory, okay? So I said that looking at this shell prompt, I'm able to say this is the current directory I'm working from. How about if I want to see the full path, if I want to see the full path of this directory, the command is simple. Print working directory. PWD shows you the path of the directory you are currently in. So it says that I'm in EC2 user. Remember the other time we were inside home, we found EC2 user inside home. We also find WSAM inside home, being their respective home directories. So I'm in EC2 user. EC2 user is inside the home, and home is inside root. Okay, so you want to know the path to your current directory. The command is pwd, print working directory. All right. Now, if I want to go back to the parent directory of EC2 user, so let me pick on us quickly. Looking at this path, what's the parent directory of EC2 user here? Beautiful. The parent directory of EC2 user here is home. What's the parent directory of home here? Root. Excellent. So if I want to go to the parent directory of EC2 user, that means I want to go back by one step. The command is cd ... cd space ... and here I am in home. If I look at my EC2 user, which I just left, and WSAM, these two are the home directories of their respective users. Again, if I want to go to the home directory, to the parent directory of home, meaning I want to go back again by one step, I repeat, cd ... and now I'm in root, all right? If I also want to go back to the parent directory of root, it's just the same command, cd ... Now, remember I told you everything stems from where? The root. Beyond the root directory, there's no other place. So if you keep hitting cd ... from now till our next class, you can't go beyond root. So let me clear this. So you see me use LL. LL alias. LL is an alias or ls flag L. Do you copy that, everybody? LL is an alias for ls switch L. LL is an alias, also known as or another word. So if I run the command LL, it will perform the same function ls switch L will perform for me. Okay, so Stanley just type exit and hit enter. However, please learn to stay in line. Stay where all of us are, okay? So that's it. I will show you how to create an alias, maybe in our subsequent classes. Why would you want to create an alias? If there's a command that is long, and if you're going to repeating that command in that your session, you just might want to create a simple 2-letter words as an alias, okay? But please know that alias that you create by yourself as a user will only be useful within your own session, okay? Except if it is root that creates such alias. Let us move on. So we've seen how to list in short form, how to list in long form, how to print the working directory. Okay, another thing I need to show us, which is very important to navigation in Linux, is changing directory. Let's go to our home directory. What do we have here? Can we have more directories? Okay, we have Sami already. Can we have Simi, Lulua? I can see we have Stanley. Okay, who else do we have there? We have Wissam, we have Aliyu, we have Dennis, Elijah. So let's Aliyu, Dennis, Elijah. So how to create directory, I'm going to show you. Let's just have all of this. Okay. Can we CD into Aliyu? CD into Aliyu means change directory into the Aliyu directory. That means go into Aliyu. So we are inside Aliyu now. If you want to know the path to Aliyu, what you need to run is your simple print working directory, and you are seeing the path to Aliyu. It means Aliyu is inside EC2 user, EC2 user is inside the home is inside root. But that's not where we are going. Let's go, let's make some things here. Let me make directory here and say we have mango, apple, orange. Okay, and I list fruits. So can we go back to our home directory? If I want to go into mango directory, I'll say cd mango. And then it tells me no such file or directory, no such file or folder. And that's true because when I list here, there is no mango in this place. But I know there is mango inside Aliyu directory. Okay, so I'm just now going to show us when you're navigating, 2 ways you can do it, the starter way and the pro way. The starter way to navigate to a directory is you do CD 1 by 1. That means you go into the parent directory of the directory where you are going to and you seed into that directory. So in this place now, the only directory we can only CD into are these directory listed here. I can CD into Aliyu. Okay, I can go back. I can CD into Anne. I can go back. I can CD into Elijah. I can go back. Okay, so Elijah is because I didn't get the name correctly, please. CD into Elijah. I can go back. I cannot use this command to CD into any directory that is not here. So what if I want to CD into a directory that is not here? What will I do? I will have to specify the full path of that directory. Okay, the full path of the, in fact, anywhere you are in the Linux server, on anywhere you are in the Linux machine, and you want to go into a directory, as long as you know the full path, the whole path to that directory, just do cd followed by the whole part of the directory. It will take you there at once. All right. Okay, so if I want to cd into Mango, I know Mango is in cd Aliyu. Then if I list, I'll see Mango. I can now cd into Mango. Okay, but this is the starter way. This will not be effective when you get into intense use of Linux, especially in DevOps, when you begin to automate, when you begin to do bash scripting, or when you begin to do Jenkins file for CI/CD, or when you begin to use Kubernetes, all of that, or Docker, when you begin to use copy a Docker file from one here to another, or when you begin to SSH from or secure copy from one server to another, you need to know how to use the old path. So if I print working directory now, and I go to my home directory, if I want to go to Mango from here, knowing that Mango is not a directory in this place, then I'm going to use the full path. And this is cd. Everything starts from root, don't forget. Then home, I know EC2 user is here, and I know Aliyu is here, and then I know Mango is there. Can you see? I'm now in Mango. Okay, now dot in Linux means that reference up to the current working directory. Don't forget this, good people. Dot, single dot in Linux means reference up to the current working directory. Okay, you can put it to use in many scenarios. One of the scenarios I'm going to show you now, because for those who are coming with us all the way to DevOps, you see us apply this, all right, at some point in Linux, in even AWS, when you are setting your JSON file for maybe your S3 bucket and all of that. Okay. All right, you want us to clear screen? Let's do that. All right, so let's again go into Mango, print working directory. Let's go back now. All right, so where am I currently? I mean, EC2 user. Look at this path. Look at this path. If I want to go to Mango from here, instead of specifying the full path, I will say dot /. Dot means that reference the path up to this current directory. And from this point on, go into Aliyu, go into Mango, because I know that up to this point, all of this, they are inside this place. Can you see? Mango. All right, so let me clear. Let me just show us one or two commands, more of the basic Linux command, a lot of things to learn, but we'll take it a step at a time. So if you want to create a directory, if you want to make a folder, you know that in whatever Linux operating system you're working from, be it Linux, Windows, or whatever, you need to be in a folder at any point in time. So to create a folder on the Linux platform, excuse me, creating a folder on the Linux platform is make directory, mkdir, then the name of the folder you want to create. So let's say we want to create a folder for who is there that we can create a folder for. Let's create for Jude. Make a directory Jude. Now we have a folder called Jude. If you want to create more than one, you can say make directory, just be listing them with a space. Jude 1, Jude 2, Jude 3. Okay. Now, it is not able to create two Judes. That's another thing you should know quickly about Linux. No two folders in the same directory will bear the same name. That's one. No two folders in the same directory will bear the same name. No two folders in the same directory will bear the same name. Again, no two files in the same directory will bear the same name. No two folders, no two files in the same directory will bear the same name, okay? And no folder and file in the same directory will bear the same name. So I already have an. If I say make directory and again, it's telling me it already exists. But remember, Linux is case sensitive. Make directory and can be created because Linux is case sensitive. Our time is up, guys. We've done 2 hours of class. I think at this point we can adjourn this meeting to Wednesday. I hope you all enjoyed class. The recording will be available shortly. We'll put it up on our YouTube channel. We encourage you to find time to watch. This time when you're watching, make notes of the commands, how you understand the command, put it there, especially for beginners, okay? All these commands, you do not need to cram them. Just practice as often as possible. It will stick the more you use them. Linux is the bedrock for DevOps, for cloud automation. You might want to get serious with it. All right, guys, we'll take this conversation to all our platforms. If you have any challenge, you let us know, okay? Good night, everyone. I'll see you in the next class.